Here is his historic handshake with South Korean President Moon Jae-in in the demilitarized zone. They posed for photos on both sides of the border before joining a parade. And the spectacle aside, this is a diplomatic breakthrough. Remember, that heavily armed border has held back simmering tensions since 1953, when the two countries called a truce but never really ended their war. And bear in mind, North Korea's nuclear capabilities have come a long way since leaders of both countries last met more than 10 years ago. So, what can we expect from this face-to-face? The CBC's Asia correspondent Sasha Petric joins us now from Seoul. Sasha, what are the stakes for both leaders?
Well, Andrew, obviously the big question is whether Kim Jong-un would be willing to negotiate away all these nuclear weapons he's been working so hard on, that he's invested so much in. We won't have an answer from this meeting here today. It's just a one-day meeting, but this could be an important first step. Just last year, North Korea's Kim Jong-un was marshalling a military parade to show off his nuclear missiles and threatening war against the U.S. and South Korea. Today, a remarkably different symbolic display aimed at peace. And that's why many South Koreans are already breathing easier, especially in the village of Daesung-dong, right next to the summit site, in the middle of the tense border zone. We want to keep living in this peaceful atmosphere that's been created recently, says the head of the village. There's a lot riding on this summit for both leaders. For South Korea's Moon Jae-in, he's been working his whole career for just this kind of opportunity to bring North and South together. And for the North, on the other side, Kim Jong-un has to prove to the United States that this time North Korea is serious about negotiating.
If Kim Jong-un has real intention of denuclearization, he has to show what would be the concrete measure.
At this summit, experts are watching for small signs of North Korea's commitment to peace. Maybe a joint declaration that the Korean War has formally ended, 65 years after most fighting stopped. And maybe tiny steps toward the kind of reunification that's optimistically shown on the lawn in front of Seoul's City Hall, a floral map of a united Korea.
Now, Sasha, this is the latest in an almost unbelievable series of changes in the relationship between the North and the South. How did things come so far so quickly?
Yeah, it's been quite a ride. Well, we don't know the clear answer to that. We'd have to talk to Kim Jong-un for that. But obviously, sanctions had an impact. There's been an increasing history of really tough sanctions by the UN and the US. That had some impact, but it really wasn't until the last few months when China decided to turn off the taps, to stop most of the fuel from going in, to stop other very important imports, that North Korea really started feeling the pain, and that had to have had an impact on a decision to do something about it.
Right, and Sasha, hold tight, because I want you to listen to something, because here in Canada, there are some 200,000 people with Korean origins, many of whom are watching this all unfold very closely. And today, we asked some of them what they hope will come of all this.
I don't think peace will be right away, but will be slowly. Hopefully, we can go North Korea, they can come South Korea, we can helping each other, we can build up together. I think everybody wants that.
I hope they get together, and then probably it's going to take a long time, but step by step, I think it's a great opportunity this time.
I don't have a lot of hope in the meeting because everyone, the UN and other governments have been trying to get involved with North Korea and trying to solve its problems since decades ago, and it's never been fixed, and there's never been any real progress so far. And I don't think, to be honest, in my opinion, I don't think this meeting would make a huge difference.
Kimchi, I think this meeting here is a preparation for the endgame, which is the one that Trump's going to hold with Kim Jong-un. I think what peace will mean for both North and South Korea is fairly similar to what peace meant, or the breaking down of the walls between East and West Germany. I think there's hope that people will start feeling like they can just get on with the usual things of life that we all in this country, for example, take for granted.
So, Sasha, the one thing I want to pick up on, the point about how this may just be setting the stage for the possible meeting between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump, the so-called endgame, as the gentleman put it. What's your read on that?
Well, there's no question that this is laying the foundation for that. I think South Korean President Moon Jae-in realizes it to the point where he's actually planning to finish the meeting here and in the coming weeks to get on a plane and go to Washington to brief and to prepare Donald Trump for his summit with Kim Jong-un, which could be coming in the next few weeks. That's what we've heard, end of May, beginning of June. We still don't know where. Donald Trump has said they've narrowed it down to 5 places, but that's still a big question mark. Also a very big question mark, what it is exactly that those two men can accomplish, given that there's been no preparatory work and we still don't really know how far either one of them is willing to go in order to solve this problem. Andrew?
Sasha Petric in Seoul. Good to talk to you.